when Obama was elected the second time, I was invited by Swiss television to have a debate on the United States. It was the question of loved or hated. USA, loved or hated. Delicate question, good question, delicate. I said, yes, yeah, I can come. It was a talk show, 1 hour, and the American ambassador was also invited. So when he said, yes, America is just a great empire, no, not empire, sorry, a great country, and I said, yes, I was in the United States, and you know, there's many things I like. You know, the Americans, they take something as a challenge. You know, they always go like, yes, let's do something new, and oh, there's a problem, oh, let's solve it, okay. Whereas here in Switzerland, we often go like, let's not take any risks. So I like this. I like this American style. Also, if you look at lectures at universities in America and you look lectures at here, you know, they're much more entertaining in America.
Okay.
But there are other things which I don't like at all, and that's just the bombing of other countries and the killing and the torture. This is no good. So I told the American ambassador, I gave him a list of the countries they bombed. I said, after 1945, there's no other country which has bombed so many countries. Let's stick to the facts. In 1950, you bombed Korea, North Korea, okay? In 1953, you overthrew the government of Iran. You used bombs. In 1954, you overthrew the government of Guatemala. You used explosions and bombs, what have you. In 1964, you started the Gulf of Tonkin incident and started the Vietnam War with 3 million dead. In 1961, you made the Bay of Pigs invasion. You tried to invade Cuba. It didn't work, but you tried. Then you continued during the Vietnam War to bomb Cambodia, which was an illegal act because Cambodia was a neutral country at the time. But Nixon manipulated the flight paths. Then in 1979, you started with the Saudi Arabia to fund radical Muslims in Afghanistan, which dragged in the Soviet invasion, 1979. In 1973, you overthrew the government of Chile. In 1982 or 83, you invaded Grenada. Just a tiny little place where you go like, why did Grenada do anything against you? In the 1980s, you supported the Contras in Nicaragua, which were brutal. They killed women and children, and you funded that with the money that you took from weapon sales in Iran.
Exactly. So
Iran-Contra. At the same time, you supported Saddam Hussein, who was aggressing Iran. You know, Saddam Hussein at the time was a friend of the West, so he got all the weapons and everything, so he could attack Iran. So a few 100,000 people there who were killed. In 1989, you invaded Panama. In 1991, you had the Iraq Desert Storm, Kuwait.
Yes.
1993, you bombed Libya. No, 86, you bombed Libya. And 1993, you bombed Sudan. Then it just goes on. In 1995, you bombed Bosnia, the area there with the war in Yugoslavia. In 1999, you bombed the Kosovo. You bombed Serbia. In 2001, we had 9/11, and then you went on to bomb Afghanistan. And it didn't end there. After Afghanistan, you started to attack in 2003 the Iraq with more than 100,000 people killed. That didn't stop the thing. In 2011, you started to bomb Libya. I mean, wrap your mind about it. You have a serious violence problem. This is, you know, it's not. I'm not being picky here. If the Soviet Union or if the Russians or the Chinese were doing the same thing, I would tell the Chinese ambassador exactly the same thing. I mean, they occupied Tibet and everything. They had Tiananmen. We're not saying they're saving the world, but as a Swiss historian, I'm looking at the different countries of the world. It's 200 countries, and I'm wondering which country has bombed most countries during the last 70 years. That's a scientific question. And the answer, with a lot of clarity, is the United States.
Yes.
And so when I'm communicating to Americans, I ask them what they think about it. And it's very difficult for them to understand it, because they usually say, we do it to help.
But probably 2/3 of the wars you just mentioned, the average American has long forgotten.
Oh yes.
So it's again the media always filling in new material for your mind to be occupied.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.